Hi there, this is Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my top 3 in every category, face and cheek edition. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be all about my top 3 in every single category for things that sort of go onto my entire face. So think base products like primers, foundations, concealers, powders, setting spray, that sort of thing, and anything that goes into like this area. So bronzer, blush, and highlighter. Tomorrow I'll be showing you my eye and lip favorites. So stay tuned if you want to be, if you want to check those out. But yeah, let me get to these products, and we're just gonna go sort of in the order that I would apply them, I think. So we're gonna start with primer and setting spray first. So I say I'm gonna go into the order that I would apply them, but of course, setting spray is something I do at the end of my makeup mainly. I only have one setting spray that I feel passionate enough about to share it with you. So that's why I sort of put that in a different category, because there's only one. And I'm already using one up again. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh setting spray, and this is really, really excellent. I really enjoy this product. I bought 4 of these in backup last year for Black Friday, so I still have plenty of them. So I don't need to place myself a Colourpop order this year for Black Friday. Yeah, this is one of my favorite products to just set my face with. Works for me in the summertime, it works for me in the wintertime, and it makes my makeup last, but it's non-drying, and it adds a little bit of life into my makeup as well, and it has a pleasant spritzer. So it's got everything going for it, and there's a reason why I've already used another one this year. I think this is my second one this year. For primers, I actually have 2 primers that are dupes for each other. But they are my favorites for that reason. There's a reason why I only have a baby version of the Milk Makeup one, because I like the Essence Jelly Grip one just as much. This is the Milk Hydro Grip. This is the Essence Jelly Grip. I repurchased both of them several times already. The Milk Makeup one, I used to have a big one, but the Milk Makeup one can turn a really strange dark green if it becomes too old, and that's when it expires. So that's another reason why I do enjoy the Essence one as well, because it doesn't seem to do that. And these are the exact same product. Depending on the price point or availability to you, you can either go Milk or you can go Essence. And these are great. These are both hydrating, and they add a little bit of longevity to your makeup as well, but without it being drying on the face, which is always like, I have dry skin. So for me, that's the most important thing. I don't want things to look dry. And even though I do use my skincare routine before I do my makeup every day, I like having something that is makeup targeted to go on as a base before I put on foundation, because I just feel it helps with longevity, and it just helps with how things look throughout the day. And that's why these 2 are my favorites. But at the minute, I'm really digging a glowy primer, and one of my favorite glowy primers is the MAC Strobe Cream. I forgot the name of this thing. This is the first time I've bought a full size though. I've used up many of the travel sizes though before deciding to commit, because this just adds, again, hydration, but also a little bit of glow. I'm currently using the Kosas Glow IV, but I saw that that's discontinued when I went to link it. But that's a beautiful product too. That's a little bit more shiny, I feel, than this. And that can also potentially be used by itself if you like a very glowy finish. This, I feel, is more like a base product. This is really sort of setting up your face for the rest of your makeup. And that's why I like this perhaps a little bit better than I do the Kosas. The Kosas can be a little bit thick and heavy, whereas this is always very thin and sort of very pleasant feeling on the skin. I just have the pinky tone one that they've been doing for the longest time, but this now comes in heaps of shades as well. So whatever sort of undertone you want it to have, it now will match. But I like the original. It's just really nice. MAC Strobe Cream. Shall we do powder next? I don't know why I'm grabbing for powder. I wanted to go in order, but powder is next. There's no surprises here. I've shared these 3 with you many times before. Sadly, the first one is discontinued, but there's a reason why I have 4 of these in backup, because the Essence Skin Loving Sensitive Mineral Powder is just that good. Yeah, it's that I'm in the midst of using a Kosas one. I don't try out too many powders. A, I don't go through them super quickly, and B, I have dry skin, which is why I don't use a lot of it, which is why I'm not going through it really quickly. But yeah, this is a powder that when I found out they were going to discontinue this, or when I became afraid they would discontinue it, I bought several more. I think I have 2 more. I think I used one up in the past, but I think I'll go back to this one really, really soon. And something that I just bought to have it on hand so I can talk about it, but this is like my 3rd or 4th one, is the Kiko Milano Radiant Fusion Powder in shade 1. I believe it's just called Ivory. This is really beautiful, and it's a dupe for my other favorite powder, which is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffuse Light. I have that as a mini to travel with, and so I can still show it in videos, but this is essentially the same product. Both of these last a really, really long time, especially if you're only using a little bit. Technically, these are finishing powders. The Essence one is more of a setting powder. These have a little bit of sheen to them, but I don't need a setting powder. My makeup, because of how dry my skin is, will set itself. So I just use this to add a little bit more of a finished look, and I feel it still does help with like not creasing under my eyes and stuff like that. And these do exactly the same thing. This is a quarter of the price of this though, which is why I have this one as the big one, and then I buy a small one of this, so I have my favorite powder on hand when I travel. But these are exactly the same, like formula-wise, etc., etc. I do think that the Hourglass perhaps has a better shade range than the Kiko one. So if Kiko doesn't have your shade, then you may have to go Hourglass, but Kiko does some excellent things. Yeah, let's do foundation next. So foundation-wise, I actually have 3 here. I have my favorite K-beauty thing, I have my favorite drugstore thing, and I have my favorite high-end thing. I thought that could be fair. My favorite K-beauty thing is the Missha Chobo Young BB cream. This is number 17. I've raved about this ever since I tested it out. I also like the Perfect Coverage BB cream, the one in the dark red tube. That's lovely too. I have that one in shade 21. But this one is just a little bit more hydrating, and I feel that the shade is a little bit better for me. So this is an excellent product. I really enjoy this. I can't stop talking about it. I need to go back to this and sort of like start using it up. I'm in the midst of using up some really old foundations at the minute, so I first want to use those up this year before next year going back to something like this. Another really, really good base product I find foundation-wise is Kiko Milano's Insta Moisture Glow Foundation. This is in the shade 1R. The regular Insta Moisture I like as well, but this is the dewy version. The regular version is more satin. This is like a medium coverage foundation, I would say. This is a little bit more lightweight and dewy, so I prefer that because of my dry skin. But if you have more normal skin, I would say perhaps go for the one with the black cap that has the same name, so Insta Moisture. This is a hydrating foundation. I really love it. The shade range is okay, but like with the powder, Kiko Milano doesn't do the most inclusive shade range, I have to say. I don't think you're going to find something if you have very deep skin, and also if you are very cool toned, they don't do that many things. This for me is perfect, but I'm more neutral leaning than I am cool toned in my skin tone, so that's definitely something to factor in there. Catrice do some good things, but I struggle finding good foundations at the drugstore because I'm so fair-skinned, and this is one of my okay matches in a formula I love, so that's why I wanted to share this one here. But my best shade match that I've ever found, and I really enjoy the formula of this as well, is the Haus Labs Triclone Foundation. This is in shade 060 Fair Warm, which may sound weird because I do have a cool to neutral undertone, but like with MAC, with the Haus Labs range I have found, if it says warm, it has a pink undertone. If it says cool, it has a yellow undertone. So that's why I opted for a warm toned labeled foundation. I don't know why brands make it so difficult, but I was matched to this in store, and it's the best shade match I have ever found. And this formula, again, it's sort of like medium coverage, but I don't use that much foundation, so I feel like I always get like a light coverage out of any foundation I use, because I tend to only use like half a pump to a full pump, because I don't love that. I just don't like having too much makeup on, and I don't mind it if my natural skin texture comes through. But there's just something about this formula that makes it revolutionary to me. It's not super wet or dewy, and yet I still find it doesn't look very dry and cakey on my skin, which is a feat because very often if it's like this demi satin sort of looking foundation, it can look very heavy really easily on my skin, and I didn't have that issue with this. So there's definitely something going on with this formula that I feel is different from other foundations that have a similar coverage level and finish to this. So I feel that this is a really excellent one, and it's become a favorite for sure. Next we have concealers, and then we still have blush, bronzer, and highlighter left. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. I know these products so well, and these are all drugstore or K-beauty. These are all affordable options. I can go through concealer quite quickly. I'm currently in the midst of using a concealer though that's taking ages to use up because it has so much product, but I'm afraid it will expire, so that's why. But these are excellent. These are really, really good. The Kiko one is almost gone. This is the Skin Tone concealer in shade 2. It's very difficult to get this product out, but every single time I can keep using it. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's like all the way down here. It's like, and then on the side here, I can like see this huge dip going down. So there's some products like stuck to the sides, but most of it is like in this little bit here. So, and this is like the 4th or 5th time that I've like repurchased this. It's small, it's therefore great for travel, but it only comes with like 3.5 milliliters of product, which is why you can go through this really quickly. But it's affordable, it's easy to use, it's foolproof. It used to come though with a different applicator, and I still hate the fact that the applicator was changed, but yeah, this is a wonderful concealer. If I run out of this one, I would buy it again in a heartbeat. And I feel that the same concealer, this is the Cover Perfection Tip Concealer by the same, this is K-Beauty, this is in shade 0.5, has a very similar effect to the Kiko one, so if you don't have access to Kiko, but you do have access to this, you may want to check this one out. This is lovely, it's got good coverage, it sees you through anything, and I think this is also 3.5 milliliters of product, so whatever you want. I just like this again. This is the second time I've bought it because I used to own a shade that was slightly too dark for me, but that one I used up and then I went back to buy it again, but in my right shade. This shade isn't always available on YESSTYLE though. And then a more recent love, this was released in 2025, is the Instant Bright Concealer from Catrice. A Catrice concealer I've fallen in love with. It's been a while. And I really couldn't pick any of my high-end ones because I like them, but if I had to like go and reach for a concealer, it would be this one over anything I currently have in my collection. It's that good. It's hydrating and it's got good coverage. It comes in an excellent shade for me. This is 010C. This came in heaps of shades. It's super hydrating. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm not sure what's going on with the lighting, but if you're wondering why things are becoming so dark, I can see a huge rain cloud moving in. So that's why the lighting is changing. I do apologize. It was forecast that we would get a lot of rain this afternoon. I thought it was going to be like 30 minutes later than me filming. But yeah, if the lighting keeps changing, I do apologize. It's getting to that time of year where it's just a little bit more difficult to film with natural lighting because of rain clouds and stuff. But since I can't control clouds, I do apologize in advance. We still have the fun products left, you could say, from this video. Let's do bronzer first. And for bronzer, I have powders and like creams and liquids, and I will have that for blush and highlighter as well. Then again, these are just compacts. One of them is actually technically a cream, but I keep it with my powders. Till this day, if you've been with me, you know. My Fenty Beauty, this is In the Sun, Sunstalker in the Sun. I've hit pan! I finally did it this year. I've been trying to hit pan on this thing for 2 years. I do have to scrape this down though. The older this gets, the easier it hard pans. That's just the way it is. And it's been doing that ever since I've bought it. So this is why I probably won't be repurchasing it. But the shade of this, it's one of my best bronzer shades ever, and this is still available. So part of me is like, yeah, if I expand that pan, or if like, you know, only the edges left, I may actually repurchase this. I love it that much. There's just a million other bronzers that have been released since I bought this, so I don't feel the need necessarily to be buying a backup of the Fenty Beauty, but know that it's definitely part of my brain chemistry where I'm like, I would like a backup of that. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. And similarly is the Kiko Milano. This is the Flawless Fusion in shade 1. They seem to have discontinued this shade though. But this is great. It was very light, a little bit more pinky toned. So this is how I sort of like figured out that if a bronzer has a slight pink undertone, it looks better on me if I wanted to truly be a bronzer. This one, again, I had to scrape down. It got a little bit of hard pan. I feel with bronzer, that only happens to me if I've had the product for a long time. These are some of the oldest bronzers I have in my collection, it seems. But yeah, this is lovely. I've used it a ton. I'll go back to it this winter again, you guys. You know this about me. This is my favorite wintertime bronzer. There is not a single bronzer in the wintertime that I can pull off, save for this one. I wish they would bring back this shade, though. I wish I had picked up a backup before they discontinued this. And then the final compact is actually technically a cream, but it's the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in shade Light. I'm trying to hit pan on it. I thought I would do it a little bit sooner, but again, I think November, December time is going to be great for me for this. I love the effect this gives. It's very light. It's super easy to work with. You can just put your brush in there and it will be fine. This is another one where I'm like, yes, if I do start running out of this, I'm going to repurchase it in a heartbeat because it's that good. And then for the cream and like liquid sort of bronzers, I've got 2 bronzer sticks and 1 liquid one. These 2 I've featured so many times before. I kind of feel they're dupes a little bit, but the Rare Beauty and Power Boost, I still love this thing to pieces. This is excellent. I go back to it several times. This is a little bit yellow toned though, so I like it mainly in like the spring summer season and not so much in like the fall winter. And the Kiko Sculpting Touch Contour Stick. Yes, this is technically a contour stick. This is in shade 200, but on me it works like a bronzer. So, Julie noted, this was actually recommended by you guys. This is something that my subscribers put me on, and I'm so grateful because it was an instant favorite. And this, I'm saying like, it could be a dupe for the Rare Beauty. I think if the Rare Beauty one expires, I will just keep this one around and repurchase this because this gives a similar effect. I feel it's slightly, less yellow than the shade of Power Boost in the Rare Beauty. And texture-wise, formula-wise, they are identical. So, and this is, again, far cheaper than the Rare Beauty. I think this is like half the price of the Rare Beauty, easily. And then a surprise, this came out of nowhere for me this year. The Catrice Melted Sun Liquid Bronzer in the shade Shady Feelings. No, Tan Lines. The Essence one is called Shady Feelings. This is Tan Lines, and you can just see that this is very gray looking, but not once it goes onto your skin. This is perfect. If you have a cool to neutral undertone and you're very fair-skinned and no bronzer looks right on you, perhaps try this, because this was a game changer for me. The formula is super thin and easy to blend. This looks beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning on your face, and it's just so easy to use. I do hope they still do it because Catrice has a tendency to always discontinue their best products. Blush next. Yeah, shall we do blush? Let's do blush. Blush, powder blush, liquid and cream blush. You know my favorites, you know what I like. I do feel that in the powder blushes, I really wanted to focus on things that I've tried in the past year roughly. I like so many of my powder blushes, but with powder blush, because it takes ages for them to go bad and be used up, the Hourglass one's still a favorite. My MAC blushes, still favorites. My Pat McGrath blushes, still favorites. My M Cosmetics blushes, still favorites. Like, I still like all of those things. All of them. But these are newer things, and I still think they are excellent, and they are great additions to my makeup collection, and I really like these. So one of them that I really enjoyed is these Fenty Beauty Suede blushes. Fenty Cheeks Suede Powder Blush. This is in the shade What a Brat. I still really want the purple, but this is the coolest toned option that the line has to offer here in Europe. And What a Brat, with this lighting, I'm not sure you can see, but it has this really beautiful, like, blue sort of sheen to it. It's absolutely stunning. And the shine in this, also absolutely stunning. I think this is a beautiful blush. And Fenty Beauty has really, really upped their game when it comes to their powder products this year. I'm very, very happy with the new highlighter and this blush formula that they're now doing. Rare Beauty, this is the powder blush in Hope. I'm actually wearing the Catrice dupe for this product on my face today, so you don't have to spend this amount of money. But the Catrice one was just released and I'm still testing it out. So that's why I didn't want to put it in this video. I really want things to be like solid favorites. I've already put this in Shop My Stashes several times. These are very soft, but they are very blendable and easy to use. I love this shade as well. You can use these as a blush topper, or you can use them by themselves. They are excellent, and the Catrice version is just as good from what I've tested out so far. And finally, the NYX Butter Melt Blush in the shade For the Butter. This could also have gone into my bronzer category because I also like the NYX Butter bronzers that they've been releasing. So anything in this line from NYX, if you want a good, more affordable blush or bronzer option, I haven't tested out the highlighters yet. Those aren't available yet here in Europe, at least not in my stores where I can get them. But these are lovely. These are super pigmented though. Wow, can you hear that rain? It's like, yeah, this is massive. It's like it's so dark inside that I would like to turn on a light right now. So yeah, these NYX Butter products are excellent as well. So know that I also love the bronzer, but if I really need to narrow it down to 3, then I have other products that I just like a touch better. But that's why this blush made it into this top 3 today. It is excellent, really, really good pigmentation. Shades like this, really good. The shade range didn't have a lot of cool tones in though when I spotted it in stores, so that can be a bit of a downside if you do have a cool undertone. But if you're looking for an excellent blush at the drugstore, check these out because they're good. They're really good. Which brings me to my liquid and cream blushes. It will be no surprise, the Fui Pudding Pots. You know I love these. I tried these last year for the first time and I like them so much that I bought more shades. This is in the shade Slay, but any of the shades I've tried are excellent. They are very consistent, easy to use, and just so wonderful. Fui instantly became one of my favorite brands last year when I first tried them, and that love is continuing in 2025. This is excellent. You can use them with fingers. They come in so many shades because one thing that Fui does really well is that they will have multiple shades in a certain color family. I think this one comes in 5 shades in every color family, and each of those shades will have a different undertone. So they will have a warm tone plum and a cool tone plum and something that's deeper and something that's lighter, and you can go to town with this line. I don't have all the shades, but I think I have 1 shade each of 4 of the different undertones, or 4 of the 4 different color families. And then I think I've picked the cool toned shade option for almost every single one, and these are really, really good. They can be used on the lips as well, but I tend to just use them on my cheeks. And this shade in particular, Slay, it looks like a really, really deep, plummy, browny berry, but it's the most beautiful mauve tone ever. It just is. And finally, my blushes, liquid blushes of choice, the MUA blushed blushes, of course. This is in the shade Dusky Rose. We all know I love these. They are a dupe for the Glossier Cloud Paint. You again don't have to shell out that amount of money. These are £3 at the UK drugstore. Love them. But K-Beauty does some lovely things as well. That's where it's at for me when it comes to these liquid and cream blushes. This is by Mousse. This is in the shade Dim Dum. And this is their Mousse Care Cheek. These are travel sizes. I also have the gray mixing medium that you can use to make it even more cool toned, which I think is super revolutionary. And this is such a lovely formula. Easy to use, easy to blend. If you're looking for a good liquid or cream blush, definitely check out K-Beauty brands because they're on to something. They're on to something. And then we have highlighter left. So again, I'll start with powders. I just mentioned really, really enjoying the Fenty Beauty powder products that came out in the past year. I had to wait a long time before I could get my hands on this highlighter. It took ages to get to Europe, but this is the Demi Glow highlighter in Pretty Pearls. And then whenever I did find it in store, this exact shade had sold out. So it took me a while to be able to put my hands on it, but this is excellent. I've hit pan in the Kilowatt highlighter I have from Fenty Beauty in both shades. And I've been saying for years how I wish that the brand would put out something that sits in between the more satiny formula that has and the more intense metallic-y formula. Enter the Demi Glows. This is exactly that. This sits in between the intensity level of the two shades you get in the Kilowatt highlighters that the brand already did. This comes in heaps of shade. Pretty Pearls, I believe, is the lightest one. It's not as warm toned as it looks in the pan. I have to point that out. Oh, by the way, I do have reviews up for all of these products, so I'll make sure to link you to as many of them in the description box down below. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it because I only have 5,000 characters in the description box to be able to link anything, so I may just link you to different categories on the blog and then you can use the search bar to find everything. But I have swatches up of everything here as well as what things look like on the face, so if you want to see, you can. But yeah, this was an excellent one. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful product. This was an instant love the moment I started trying this. So it had to go in here. Another great love for me was the Kiko Milano liquid highlighter that they did as part of their Stellar Love collection. I think, didn't that collection come out at the start of 2025 or was it at the start of 2024? I don't remember, but this is the Radiant Liquid Highlighter in shade 1. This is really pretty. It has like a peachy pink vibe to it, but with silver reflect. It's so stunning. It's very subtle on the face. It's so easy to apply, and I've already used this so much. Like, this is in my Shop My Stash constantly. Every single time I'm like, I want a liquid highlighter, I reach for this. I don't know why, but it's that good. And then the final product here is actually a placeholder. I actually had or used to have a product that was exactly like this, but that one expired. So I don't love this as much as I did the original version I had. What I'm talking about is the Glossier Halo Scope in Quartz. I'm going to repurchase it the next time I find myself in a Sephora or a Glossier store, which is before the end of the year. It's on the wish list to be repurchasing it. But this is by Bia, and this is their, I don't know what this is called because Bia is Chinese, I believe. But this gives off a very similar vibe. I was sent this by YESSTYLE, and this works just as well as the Glossier, I have to say. But this one I feel is very flimsy packaging-wise, so I would prefer to repurchase the Glossier one. It's just a shame that it actually was, that it actually expired. Oh, I was doing powders first, right? So this is why I'm confused. It was like, why am I, but yeah. Last cream and liquid highlighter then, the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer. I, again, reach for this all the time, and this is just a really wonderful product. This looks like glass on the skin. This is really, really stunning. And then I'm not forgetting, but I was like trying to make a bridge to the next product after the Fenty one, and then I grabbed for my liquid products rather than my powders. It's okay. But these you will remember I love. I have hit pan on my Kiko Milano Glow Fusion highlighter. They still do this. This is in shade 1, and you can see the dent. It took a while for me to hit pan on this, but you know, if I've hit pan on products, then I actually love them. So this is an older one again. I've had this for years. It's still going strong. Still love this. Reach for it all the time. You could say that if I had to narrow my entire makeup collection down to just 3 products in every category, these are the things I would stick around. Like if I had to throw away all of my makeup, or if I had to go out and repurchase things because I lost everything, these are the things I would go out and buy. And finally, because I also want something a little bit more interesting, the Space Glam highlighter from Catrice. I'm not sure, do they still do it? Or did they already discontinue it? It came out this year. It's beautiful. There we have it. Do you see that shine? Haha. This is a multi-chrome highlighter, people. At the drugstore. It has a, like, pink, lilac, blue, green flash. but it doesn't have a very noticeable base once it goes onto the cheeks. I also have the Kaleido Space Age highlighters, which I think are beautiful, but those I use as eyeshadow because they're so intense. This has a beautiful sheer base, so on the cheek, you just get this really nice multi-dimensional glow. And this was so, it was cheap as chips. It was €5 at the drugstore, and they're doing something that's this good, so you knew I had to rave about it here. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. These are some of my favorites. These are long-standing favorites in my makeup collection. So if you've been with me for a while, you will probably know about a lot of these already. But yeah, there's also some new bits here that I tried in the past year. So this is just a giant update of all of the products that I've been really enjoying and that I would go out and repurchase if I had to, or that I've just used so many times that I've either hit pan on them or that I have already repurchased them, sometimes several times over. So check back tomorrow, because then I will be chatting to you about the eye and lip products that I feel this passionate about. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. Thumbs it up if you liked it, and subscribe because I will be back with a new video very, very soon. Bye-bye.